Good afternoon, and welcome here for an exciting day. My name is William Eddy. I'm chairman of the Housing Authority Board, and I want to recognize a couple of members of our board who are with us today. Commissioner Jose Ramos is here somewhere. Where is Jose? Right there. Woo! Commissioner Lowell Alexander is also sitting right with him. Our other two members are Commissioner Joseph Capone and Commissioner Renee Bracy Westbrook, who couldn't be with us today. I'd also be remiss if I did not mention our former chairman, Joe Carlson, who has been spent a lifetime and a commitment to this housing authority, having grown up here and then having chaired the board for so many years. He played an important role in where we are here today, and so Joe Carlson's deserving of some recognition. Today speaks to a partnership. This doesn't happen without a great partnership. It's about a board of commissioners who are committed, absolutely committed, to moving this housing authority forward, not being passive, looking for how we can next build the next big thing to help our residents. It doesn't happen without a extremely talented CEO in Alex Corrales. Woo! It's a pleasure serving on a board when you have a CEO who doesn't even know how to spell timid. He thinks boldly and operates boldly, and we're appreciative of that. It's also, we wouldn't be here without our friends in the legislature for their help in funding housing across this Commonwealth, and we certainly wouldn't be here without our Governor, Maura Healey. The Governor is deeply committed to housing. Her secretaries, our former Secretary Ed Augustus and our Secretary Matias, we're so happy to have you with us today. We wouldn't be here today without them and the Healey administration. Also, we wouldn't be here without our partners at Trinity Financial, doing a tremendous job here. We couldn't be proud to have them as a partner with us. And so today is about what can happen when government works together, works in partnership with the city, with our city partners. Our tremendous Mayor, Joe Petty, and our tremendous City Manager, Eric Batista. Thank you for everything you've done. And so, today's a great day. We're happy to have you with us. And hopefully you enjoyed the tour, and hopefully we'll have you here for more events like this. So thank you very much, and welcome to join us today.
So we've got a great turnout here today. I'd just like to give a quick shout out to some of our friends and supporters in the legislature, Representative John Mahoney, Representative Donahue, Senator Moore, as well as our friends in the City Council, Councilor Rivera, Councilor Mitra, Councilor Bergman, and Councilor Ojeda. Thank you for coming out and supporting us. And now I'd like to turn it over to the Chief Executive Officer of the Worcester Housing Authority, Alex Corrales.
Well, thank you, everybody. I will keep this under 30 minutes, I promise. Today is really a historic day. It's a real personal day for me because I began here at the Housing Authority, as many of you may know, but I started here at the Housing Authority 30 years ago as a temp employee, and I just remember driving into Curtis every day and really wishing that we could do something different with these old 1950s buildings. I kind of dreamt of a new Curtis going that far back. And 30 years ago, for those that may still be in the team and remember those, it was a different time here at Curtis Apartments 30 years ago. It was a time where you saw crime, you saw gang activity, you saw drugs. All of those were prevalent in the neighborhood. And even the upkeep of the property wasn't good inside the apartments, outside the apartments. It really needed an entire addressing. And so that became the focus 30 years ago. It became the focus to really change that. And I'm happy to say that through those partnerships that were built, because nothing can be done on your own, we improved the resident quality of life. So those partnerships included the City of Worcester, the police department, but most importantly, the residents, right? If you can't get residents to buy into what you want, you're not gonna have a lot of a success. And so as a result of the work that we did, 98% reduction in crime occurred. So think about that for a minute, 98%. That's virtually no crime. And what that did for the residents that lived here is that meant their kids could go ride a bike without parents worrying about it. That means folks could leave their car parked here without worrying that the next day somebody might break into it. It became one of the safest neighborhoods in this city, and I say that proudly. However, there's still the old ugly brick buildings, right? Built in the 1950s. And so in 2018, I really started to try to take that vision and how to make it a reality, and started having some real discussions with folks. And it's really important for me to say that I need to thank a couple of folks. Some of the folks that my chairman thanked are on my list. And so certainly the lieutenant governor, lieutenant governor for their support. Certainly the state legislation that's here today, from our state senators to our state reps. We really appreciate their belief and the advocacy that they do for our part with affordable housing. Our Secretary of Housing, thrilled that's here. But one of the things you need to know, Secretary Matias, is that you have a fantastic team over at HLC. They are problem solvers. When you're working on an issue, they're trying to get you to the next point to succeed, rather than being obstacles. And so I see a lot of the HLC staff here, and I want to thank them for the work that they do with us, and always being someone that's going to be able to help us. Our folks over at HUD have also been helpful, from the staff over to R.A. Banks. I know Anthony Nenardo, thank you for being here today. And certainly, I want to thank, in no particular order, Trinity. What a fantastic partner it is to have with Trinity as a developer. They really, without them, we would not be able to do this kind of work. And because they brought in partners like DIMYO, HOU, DHK, critical partners. 100% union job here. This is the great work of bringing the unions together. So I want to give them a plug and a shout out. Mass Housing, MHIC. Most importantly as well for me, we have my WHA Board of Commissioners. You can see the kind of board that I have. They're supportive. They're a board that pushes us to be innovative, that wants us to be problem solvers in the affordable housing crisis. And I also would be remiss if I also didn't thank our former chairman, Joe Carlson. He's not only been a great chairman, he's been someone that has really helped me at times when we're trying to troubleshoot to some of these things in getting to that next to the next endeavor. Ed Augustus is not here. I spoke to him earlier in the week, and I told him that I appreciated his time as secretary and the support he also gave these projects, because without that as well, we would not be moving at the pace we are. And last but not least, I want to make sure that we take a moment. I want to recognize my Worcester Housing Authority staff that's here today, because they are the lifeline. So, I appreciate the kind words from the chairman, but it's because of the folks that work here at the Housing Authority that those things become a reality. And Secretary of Housing, I want you to know that this is by far the best group of public housing staff you're going to see in the entire state, number one. So much so, right? That's right. So much so that they keep getting plucked away from me. 7 employees over the years that started their careers here at Worcester are now executive directors at their own housing authorities, which says a little something about the work we do here at Worcester. So thank you to my Worcester Housing Authority team. I appreciate you. So now at this time, what I'd like to do is I would like to call Vivian Lee up to the stage. Where are you, Vivian? Oh, you're there, right? You want to bring that over here? We're going to get into the unveiling of the new name for Curtis Apartments. Oh, Peter, you walk very elegantly with that. Thank you. Careful and methodical. So, as we thought about the new name for Curtis Apartments, the goal was that we wanted it to reflect a new chapter in this neighborhood, but we also wanted to recognize the history that existed here. So we sought input, right? The input came from the community. We went and got input from the staff. Most importantly, we reached out to the residents to get their input on what ideas they had for a new name. So we initially received over 20 different names as ideas, and we narrowed those down to the top 5 vote getters. And there was one name that just kind of dominated everyone else with a resounding level. And we believe that this name does exactly what it set out in the very beginning for our goal. It recognizes the history here. There are so many families that do have very fond memories of growing up and living here at Curtis Apartments and their time here. But it's also embracing this new neighborhood, this transformation, the revitalization of Curtis. And so I'm thrilled to announce today the new name for Curtis Apartments is the Phoenix at Curtis. So we hope you agree. And so thank you to Vivian and all the work that you and your team do. I know that Patrick Lee could not be here today. Oh, I didn't see that. Where are you? There you are. I'm telling you, he sneaks in. He's like a ninja. He just sneaks in. Patrick, thank you for being here and all the work that you do. I'm incredibly proud to be able to work with folks like you and your Trinity team. It really has been such a pleasure for me, and I'm very thankful for what you've done for us over the last several years. Thank you so much. With that, I'm going to turn it back to our MC. Thank you, everybody.
Say it all, but not quite, not quite. So I'd like to welcome Secretary Matias. Say a few words, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Haley and Driscoll administration, it's a pleasure, an honor, and delight to be here with you today. I want to thank Mayor Joseph Petty and City Manager Eric Batista for your leadership here in Worcester. And to our partners at Beacon Hill, HLC could not do the work we do without your support. So State Senator Robin Kennedy, Representative Jim O'Day, Rep. John Mahoney, and Rep. Dan Donahue, thank you for your continued support of our mission. I want to congratulate everyone at Trinity Financial on this momentous occasion. And thank you to Alex Corrales, Bill, Eddie, and the entire Worcester Housing team and Worcester Housing Authority for the work that they've done to get us to today. I also, like you mentioned, Alex, sometimes I come and I'm the one that's receiving the credit, but I'm the one that deserves the credit the least. And I want to recognize the HLC team that did the work to make a deal like today possible. I want to recognize Danny Bastarash and Fatima Razak, HLC's Undersecretary and Assistant Undersecretary for Public Housing and Rental Assistance, and Matt Martin and Robert Garrett from their team. And I want to thank all of you that are here today for the work you do every day to improve the lives of everyone who calls public housing home. And I'm thrilled to be here to celebrate the opening of the newly named Phoenix at Curtis. And I love that name, Phoenix, because a phoenix rises stronger than before. And that is exactly what we are celebrating today. Not simply new buildings, but the rebirth of a community and a renewed commitment to the people who will call it home. The original Curtis Apartments were built nearly 75 years ago. Think about how different the world was then. Harry Truman was president. Many families did not have a television in their homes. The interstate highway system did not exist. And the idea of an accessible apartment was simply unheard of. That was the world Curtis was built for. And for generations, Curtis played an important role in Worcester's housing history. Thousands of people lived here. They raised families here. They built community here. They called this place home. But time eventually takes its toll. And like Curtis, and like so much of our public housing across the Commonwealth, that time showed the strain of age. But today, we are not celebrating the replacement of old buildings with new. We are celebrating a national example of what public housing can and should be. This, right here in Worcester, is the future of public housing. Modern, accessible, mixed income, connected to opportunity, and built with dignity at the center. Together, we have replaced 90 aging apartments with 120 new homes. That means more families will have an affordable place to live. It means more residents will have homes that are modern, safe, and comfortable. And when the full redevelopment is complete, 372 aging apartments will have been replaced with 529 new homes for households on a range of incomes. That is more than renovation. It is transformation. And it is also preservation. It is a reminder that addressing our housing challenges requires us to do both building new homes for the future while preserving the affordable homes that people depend on today. That is why HOC was proud to support the Phoenix at Curtis with more than $30 million of state investments. That support includes nearly $14 million of state low-income housing tax credits, $10 million of subsidies, $5 million from our public housing innovations program, and $2.2 from the Move Into Work Fund. Across Massachusetts, the Healey-Driscoll administration and HLC are working every day to strengthen our public housing system. When Governor Healey signed the Affordable Homes Act into law, Massachusetts began a $1.6 billion investment to repair, modernize, and preserve public housing across the state. That is a statement of our values, because public housing is not a relic of the past. It is a part of our future. And most importantly, it is a part of how we make sure people in every region of Massachusetts can afford to live, stay, and thrive in the communities that they call home. Since 2023, the Office of Housing and Livable Communities has supported 233 local housing authorities with $815 million in capital funding to maintain and improve homes for 80,000 residents living in state-supported public housing. And we have supported 117 local housing authorities with additional capital funds to rehabilitate vacant units and put them back online so more people can move into safe, stable housing. These investments have a direct impact on the quality of life of our residents, and they have a direct impact on the quality of life of our communities and towns. The Phoenix at Curtis challenges us to rethink what public housing can be. It shows what is possible when we can imagine more, when we invest, when we preserve, and when we build. And when we recognize two truths: that every resident deserves a home that reflects their dignity, and that a dignified home in turn can help shape their sense of stability, belonging, and possibility. So today we celebrate a major milestone for Worcester, we celebrate a major milestone for public housing in Massachusetts, and we celebrate a project that can serve as a model for the entire country. Thank you to all of the dedicated partners who worked so hard to get us to today. And most of all, congratulations to the residents who will call the Phoenix at Curtis home. Because at the end of the day, housing is not about buildings. It's about people. It's about that parent who can finally worry a little less. The senior who can age with dignity. The child who has a safe place to sleep, dream, and learn. Those are the futures we are building here today. So congratulations to all involved in this remarkable achievement, and thank you.
Thank you, Secretary. And now I'd like to call up the Mayor of the City of Worcester, Mayor Joseph Petty.
Good afternoon, everyone. Pleasure to be here today. So on the standby here with you at 50 Great Brook Valley Avenue. I want to thank Patrick Lee, Vivian Lee, and Trinity for all the work they've done in the city of Worcester and this project also, and future projects, along with Dimeo Construction, who's organized labor. I see David Nation from the Carpenters with us today. I want to thank Madam Secretary. I want to thank the Governor. I want to thank you. Look forward to seeing you at future groundbreakings here in the city of Worcester and ribbon cuttings. And of course, Alex. Alex, thank you for the vision. It's absolutely beautiful. The apartments are absolutely gorgeous. We look around us. What we are celebrating today is so much. I also want to thank the state delegation, because the state delegation couldn't do it without the meeting. So thank you. What we are celebrating today is so much more than a ribbon cutting for modern buildings, new roofs, or fresh paint. We are celebrating a profound, long-awaited investment in the families who call the Phoenix here at Curtis home. For too long, our public housing infrastructure was left to age, but today we say clearly, every resident in Worcester deserves a safe, dignified, and beautiful place to live. Phase 1 of the Curtis Apartments transformation is a promise kept, and we will carry this momentum forward. Housing is the bedrock of everything we want to achieve here in the city of Worcester. When a family has a stable, modern, energy-efficient home, children do better in school, health outcomes improve, and neighborhoods thrive. These new units aren't just structures, they are platforms for opportunity. Projects of this scale do not happen in a vacuum. This is a result of powerful coalition with the federal, state, and local leadership working hand in hand with the Worcester Housing Authority and most importantly the residents themselves. This is what happens when Worcester pulls in the same direction. The ribbon cutting is just the beginning. Phase 1 proves that we can modernize our city housing stock by preserving deep affordability. We are setting a new standard for public housing, not just here in central Massachusetts, but across the Commonwealth. Let us keep building a Worcester where everyone has a place to thrive. Thank you and congratulations to the entire Phoenix community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Kennedy. So now I'd like to welcome Senator Robin Kennedy.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here. Alex asked me beforehand if I had my speech ready, and I said, no, Alex, I don't plan to speak long enough to need a speech. So I know it's finally a very warm day here in our community, so I will keep it brief and start by saying ditto to all the gratitude that's been expressed so far. You know, I have the privilege of living across the street from Tacoma Street, on the other side of Clark Street. And when the project is all the way done, when phase 2, 3, and 4 are completed, when the parks are completed, I'm gonna miss the hum of construction that I get to hear every day. And I mean that. I'm gonna miss that hum as I drive down Clark Street and turn the corner on Plantation Street and see buildings rising here, see the siding being hung on the walls here. Because every day that I have the privilege to do that, I get to appreciate what is possible for our community. What is possible when we believe and invest in our people, in our residents, in our neighbors. What is possible when we believe and invest in developers, thank you Trinity, thank you to the other partners, who actually value our workers, who pay our workers, who employ local workers. We show what's possible when we actually hire and employ union workers. We get the job done right, we get the job done on time. We demonstrate what's possible. And every single day I have the unique privilege of driving around my neighborhood and getting to see that come to life here. We get to see what's possible. We not only transform people's lives, as we've heard here today, but we transform entire neighborhoods. We transform what it means for my neighbors to be able to walk through our community and to be able to see our community growing and thriving and made more beautiful by the green space, more beautiful by the trees that we see coming to life here in our community. And we transform our entire city. We once again get to show the whole state, including that city at the far east end of the state, what's possible. What is possible when a city rises together, when a community rises together, like we do time and time again here in Worcester, when a community partners together, brings out the best of everyone, invests in each other, and lifts each other up. And so I'm incredibly proud and grateful to be able to stand here with you all today in celebration. And I will name and start by saying thank you to Alex and his entire team at the Worcester Housing Authority, not just for the moment of celebration we have here today, but for the care you provide to our residents each and every single day when the cameras aren't on you, when we're not watching what you're doing, but when we know that you're showing up to make sure that your residents have a strong and productive and successful life here in our community. So thank you all. It's a privilege and honor to be with you. And again, thank you to our partners in the administration, all of my colleagues. I see Senator Moore sitting right here. I know the reps have been named earlier. So thank you all. It's a privilege to be here.
Thank you, Senator Kennedy. I'd like to now welcome Representative James O'Day.
Good afternoon. It's wonderful to be here with all of you. So I have a little bit of experience and history with Curtis Apartments in this community. I began working as a social worker 1983, working with families here at the health center. And so this community has been a major part of our community, a major part of my life. over the last number of years. This particular project, I think it bears noting that an administration was leaving, the Baker and some other person in that administration, and then the Healy administration was coming in. And so my friend Patrick in the back was very concerned about what was going to happen with this one outfit coming in, going out, one outfit coming in, administration, I should say. But what I said to Patrick is I think we're missing one very important piece to all of this. There was a certain city manager who came from Worcester who was becoming the Secretary of Housing and Community Living. And if there's one thing I knew was that Ed Augustus, who was a real Worcester guy, was never going to forget the city of Worcester. And I think what we're seeing here is a part of that, and really a part of all of the different partnerships that are involved with this project, whether it's the Housing Authority, whether it's the funding resources, whether it's Trinity, whether it's the legislature. All of those people, all of those entities came together, because what we have here today, when I look at the different colors on this building, and I'm not kidding when I say this, it reminds me of when I got off the boat in Oak Bluff. All those colorful housing units there at the beach down in Martha's Vineyard. This is what dignified living is supposed to look like. And this is what dignified living is going to happen for all of the residents here at Curtis Apartments. We have a park just outside the door of this building right here. We have another park just on the other side of this block of land. And at the very end of the property, there's another park. All of which was part of the planning between the state, between the city, between Trinity, and all those other entities that I mentioned earlier. So this is the example of when we all put our minds together and recognize the absolute importance of affordable public housing matched with your income, that will have a really special place for the residents. And I'm really happy to be a party to it and a part of it, and look forward to a really robust future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Representative O'Day. So now please join me in welcoming District 1 City Councilor Tony Economo.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. What a day. I think at the groundbreaking it was weather like this too, wasn't it, Alex? Yeah, you could be. Thank you. Having grown up not far from here, just off of Berkwood Street, my father's pizza shop was right up the street. We were in this neighborhood often delivering food for everybody. What a fundamental change this is in housing. From what was once affordable veteran housing to what is now top of the line public housing. The units will provide the needed amenities necessary for residents to enjoy the quality of life that they deserve. These also include, as been said earlier, some 50 units of wheelchair accessible units when it's all said and done. Something that's the city is in need of, and that's a great opportunity here. I just want to congratulate everybody, as everybody has said already, from our local partners to our state and federal partners to our private entities that have been involved, creating the housing that is needed here, the Phoenix at Curtis. And more importantly, congratulations to the residents who will call these beautiful units home. It will further create that energy, that drive, the dignity for them to succeed and enjoy every day of their life coming home. So thank you all. Great job by all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Economo. So now I'd like to welcome City Manager Eric Batista to say.
I'm going to do exactly what Senator Robert Kennedy said and just say ditto. But I'll share other few words as well. Again, thank you to the state delegation, the leadership of Secretary Matias, I was going to say Secretaria, Secretary Augustus as well, the leadership of the Housing Authority, but also the innovative thinking of the Housing Authority and Trinity Financial to come together and think about a model that presents the care and this type of development in the city that not only happens for this city, but that can be a model for across the state. So we've talked about preserving and being able to provide new units here for this community. But one of the things that hasn't been mentioned is not only we preserve 90 units here, we're also increasing the amount of units in this area. And we know how important the supply has been, not only for the community of Worcester, but also across the state. So extremely important to recognize that, but also to recognize the fact that we have a commitment of this housing authority, a commitment in the leadership here, that we're going to continue to work hard to increase that supply, not only in the housing authority, but on Lakeside and other areas. And that's something, a true testament of leadership, true testament of vision, to make sure that we provide what we can for our residents. I had an opportunity about a month or two ago to get a private tour. Yes, I did. I got a private tour from Alex. But I had an opportunity to actually sit down and have a conversation with one of the residents. And the resident is from Dominican Republic, and we were able to engage in conversation with her and her family. And one of the things that I quickly realized is that the housing authority is not just simply helping individuals be stabilized in the units and providing the resources and the support that they need to be in the units. They're wrapping themselves around this individual with a bunch of different programs and opportunities where they can be able to not only be self-sufficient for themselves, but also for the generations and futures of their families. They got programs that are assisting them and helping them save dollars, so as they walk out of here and seek to open or buy a new property, a new residential property for themselves, they're leaving here with thousands of dollars that they were not able to do so before because of the support that the Housing Authority is doing. So what this project here is happening and is creating for this community, it's literally changing the lives of people as they not only occupy the spaces, but also as they're leaving here to occupy and build generational wealth for their families. So I want to congratulate the Housing Authority, the leadership of their staff, and all the work that they're doing. And again, this is a true example of what leadership looks like between all of us that are standing here, a lot of you that are here. Because if you really think about it, a lot of us have a connection, whether there's 1 degree or 2 degrees of separation. We all have a connection to the Curtis and Grayville Valley. And that is what makes this beautiful, because all of us together have been able to put this project together and be able to come to this point. So again, I just want to congratulate all of you, congratulate the Housing Authority. This is an exciting day for Worcester because we get to increase supply, but also be able to give and change the lives of people in this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. So before we get to our next speaker, I'm going to give a couple other shout-outs. I'd like to give a shout-out to Joe Carlson, who is actually just arrived. There he is. Thank you, Joe. So we're very happy that you could join us, Joe. And I'd also like to give a shout-out to Aaron Horn, who, for those of you who know, he actually came from Philadelphia, PA to join us. He worked on this project with me and with the rest of the Trinity team from the beginning. So thanks for coming, Aaron. We appreciate it. So now I'd like to welcome to the stage, or to the mic, Vice President of Multifamily Programs at Mass Housing, Mark Tita.
Thank you, Mike. It was nice of you to order that breeze. Some of us are sitting closer to the sun. Anyway, thank you again, and congratulations to you, Vivian, and your team. Patrick, it's good to see you again. Congrats on what we're celebrating here today, the completion of Phase 1 of the now Phoenix at Curtis. Not only 90 units have been replaced, but another 39 critically needed new units, all beautifully designed and constructed, allowing the residents that live here to live in the dignity and the conditions that they deserve. And this is just the beginning, because we all see Phase 2 already having been begun. I'd like to again acknowledge and congratulate the Trinity team as well as that of the Worcester Housing Authority. Alex and team, This is a complicated deal, some 15 sources of capital, all requiring to be knit together in order to become an effective tool for Trinity and the Worcester Housing Authority to complete their work here. This was all under the umbrella of a very complicated HUD program. For many in the audience, the term fair cloth to rad will seem like an arcane phrase devoid of any reality or any real-world implications. For a few in this room, that phrase will bring PTSD. But for those who embrace this extraordinarily detailed and complicated process, we congratulate you, as it is the underlying tool which allowed this to happen and allowed us to be celebrating what we are celebrating today. You made something that in reality is very difficult look quite easy. I noted the multiple funding sources, and I'd like to acknowledge and thank many of our partners, many of whom you have heard from or will hear from, our state partners at the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities, Mass Housing Investment Corp, Bank of America, the city, and of course a group that does not always get the credit that they deserve, but are a tremendous finance partner for us, the AFL-CIO Housing Investment Trust, which provided critical financing for us to be able to put favorable rate financing into this deal. Combinations of us have done many deals together, and we thank all of you for your roles in this project. As always, I get to stand here representing the agency and take the credit, but it is only really through the effort of a very smart and capable staff that the work of the agency comes to life, and I'd like to thank them. Many are here: Sarah, Dan, Caroline, Rachel, Janet, Michelle. Please raise your hands. Even Sarah, please. Thank you very much for your work. Lastly, I would also, on behalf of the agency, like to congratulate and acknowledge the residents who now live here, some 300 by our count. Your patience during this process, I'm sure, was tested, so thank you for that. But it is for you that all of us on the stage do this work, and we are pleased for you today as we celebrate your new homes. So Mike, Vivian, Patrick, congratulations again to you and your team for all that you have done to bring us here, to bring us to this day. It's a pleasure for the agency to share in this work with you. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. I'm one of the ones with PTSD about fair cloth to rad, but I'm getting over it. So please join me in welcoming Senior VP of Community Development Banking, David Mastriani from the Massachusetts Housing Investment Corporation.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is David Mastriani, as he said. I'm currently the Deputy Director of Asset Management at Massachusetts Housing Investment Corp., otherwise known as MHIC. MHIC's a private, nonprofit organization that provides innovative financing to help create and sustain communities across the Commonwealth. Through programs like the Low-Income Housing Tax Credit, we bring together investors, developers, and investors and banks for projects like this one to make it possible. I just want to share a couple of stats about this project that are interesting. This development marks several important firsts. This is MHIC's largest equity transaction in its 36-year history. It's our largest proprietary investment alongside Bank of America, and it's the largest deal that we've done with Trinity Financial. MHIC is proud partner with Trinity since 1993 on 6 prior projects. A recent project is down into the city of an adapted reuse of the former Worcester County Courthouse into 117 rental housing units. Thank you, Trinity, for partnering with MHIC on this incredible project, adding, like people said, 129 new homes to the city of Worcester. MHIC would also like to recognize Trinity and DeMayo's commitment to a fair and open process during the construction procurement. This deal closed in 2024, and just 2 years later, here we are to celebrate this ribbon cutting. It's an exciting first step in the broader master plan redevelopment of this Worcester Housing Authority site. Very exciting to see what's going on here. I want to extend my sincere thanks to Bank of America, both of us as our investor and the construction lender on the project, and for their ongoing commitment to MHIC's mission of creating affordable housing opportunities across Massachusetts. Like everybody's already mentioned, all the other partners and financing people that were involved in this project. This project is just a testament of what strong partnerships can achieve. So thank you and congratulations to all the partners involved.
Thank you, David. And last but not least, I'd like to welcome Senior Vice, David, you were Deputy Director. So there was a late substitution, so we got a little screwed up. But Senior Vice President of Community Development Banking, Patricia Marinelli from Bank of America.
Thank you. Good afternoon. It's truly a pleasure to be here to celebrate the Phoenix and Curtis. The very first deal that I closed in community development banking was in Worcester, so it's a little bit like coming home. I closed on a recapitalization of the Plumley Village back in '04, so it's really a bit like coming home. I echo all the sentiments they've already heard. What a difference a day like today makes. To see the transformation of aging public housing take the path from construction equipment to hard hats and now ultimately homes is really, truly remarkable. At Bank of America, we're proud to be a part of bringing 129 new affordable homes to Worcester that are designed for families across a range of income levels and to ensure our community remains accessible, inclusive, and strong for years to come. These homes replace aging housing and mark an important step in a multi-generational, larger site transformation. Beyond the numbers, what resonates for me is it's an opportunity for families who have high-quality homes, opportunities for children to grow up in a safe, supportive environment, and visualization of what we can achieve together with a common purpose. I want to recognize and congratulate Worcester Housing Authority, Trinity Financial, whose leadership and experience make today possible. For decades, Trinity has taken on complex developments across the Northeast to deliver properties that combine quality, sustainability, and community. We're proud to have worked with them and partnered with Trinity over many years. This is exactly the type of thoughtful execution that it takes to realize the vision. I'd like to acknowledge and congratulate all of the public agencies, local leaders, community stakeholders, all the financing partners that it took today to make today possible. And we appreciate the partnership and aligned commitment. Also proud to stand here as a member of MHIC's Board of Directors. As David mentioned, this is an important milestone for us after many years of investing with MHIC and multi-funds. This is our first proprietary fund and the beginning of deepening our relationship on a new chapter in how we work together. This is just the beginning, as is the beginning for the redevelopment of Curtis. I'd like to acknowledge my teammates represented the client team that did the work to deliver the construction financing, the equity investment. They're not here with me today, but David Perillo, not here for a good reason on paternity leave, Lisa Waya, Dennis Kitchamilidis, and Liz Gruber before she retired. Congratulations to all that helped make today possible, and especially the residents that now have new homes. Thanks very much.
Well, we are very close to finally completing all those speeches, unless you want to hear them all over again. But all kidding aside, thank you for being here. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge one very, very important partner that in all my notes as my sheet was blowing off, I did not get a chance to, which starts with the city of Worcester, from our city councilors to the mayor, over to our city manager, Eric Batista, who is someone that I've known for many, many years, and I can call upon him, and there's always a solution to a problem, and that extends out to his team. I see Jeanette here, I see Jim here, and they work very closely with my team, and without their support, again, these projects are not going to see its fruition, and so we're very appreciative from the Housing Authority. For me, thank you. Thank you, City Manager. And so we're at the point of the event where we're going to do our ribbon cutting. So our elected officials and our partners, we're going to which way are we going? We're going to the left over here, and we hope that you'll join us when we do the ribbon cutting for phase 2, which you can see work is already underway. So we're very excited. Thank you again, everyone. We really do appreciate you joining us today. Have a great day. Plenty of food and refreshments in the back, too. And we also have favors at the table, so don't run away without grabbing a favor.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder, before you leave, please grab your favors over there. Okay, we want to remind you to grab your favors over there. Thank you very much.